My name is Tim McNeil, and I'm looking forward to sharing my paper towards an active classroom, exhibition, meaning and making. I'm going to start off by reminding you all that design education is at an inflection point. This year, one of the San Francisco Bay Area's oldest design schools, CCA, announced its closure. This arrived not long after the San Francisco Art Institute was shuttered in 2022. These developments, intensified by the shift to online teaching during the global pandemic, signal a broader decline in traditional studio-based art and design education, which is expensive to deliver compared to other forms of instruction. Design accommodates many skills and variables under its multidisciplinary umbrella. However, at its core, design is a combination of three disciplinary attributes. One, the ability to clearly communicate. Two, the inherent proclivity for creativity and imagination. And three, the talent to craft and construct using tools and materials. Experienced makers excel in these areas. Remove one and we weaken this field of design practice. However, due to the economic factors and administrative decisions, design education is neglecting hands-on making, and the space between creativity and construction is becoming sidelined. Computer-aided fabrication saves time, machine learning quickens design invention, and artificial intelligence makes tasks less banal. But these technologies further erode the cognitive benefits of tactile, hands-on minds-on assembly. At what point will the multidisciplinary problem-solving skills students foster through physical making become obsolete? Studies show that technology affects cognitive health. Taking mental shortcuts is deeply ingrained in our biology. Technology has only amplified this tendency. If these shortcuts lead to reduced mental effort, it could potentially hinder our ability to become lifelong learners. Exhibition design is complex, synthesizing multiple design disciplines to create spaces that communicate object-led stories through engagement, interaction, and participation. It's inherently interdisciplinary, collaborative, and challenging, resisting categorization and fitting into silo-based or disciplinary design education curricula. University museums and galleries provide students with opportunities to tinker and move beyond producing polished digital renderings and perfecting products in makerspace labs. Instead, students engage in the physical and even and often messy construction of immersive, experiential exhibit environments. Exhibition making teaches critical thinking, patience, and effective communication. The process and end results are human-centric, skills touted as somewhat AI resilient. This paper asserts that studying exhibition design prepares students to interpret ambiguous and complex content, be adaptable and nimble with idea generation, and to understand how interdisciplinary work and hands-on skills can be rewarding and professionally advantageous in today's unpredictable career landscape. It argues that despite the current inflection point in design education, the multimodal field of exhibition making remains essential for equipping future designers with a range of 21st century skills, and in the long run, the ability to be healthy, productive learners. For more than 20 years, I have directed a design research laboratory that operates simultaneously as a public museum, changing exhibition venue, and active classroom space. Located within the Department of Design at the University of California, Davis, the UC Davis Design Museum serves as an active classroom space for undergraduate and graduate students from a range of disciplines. Since the lab's inception, students have curated and created over 60 exhibitions, participating in a spectrum of exhibition development, from research and design planning to fabrication and installation. This is not your typical campus museum. With a focus on engaging students in the local community and not the other way around, exhibitions are medium fidelity, low budget, and strive to be sustainable and truly experimental. We are not interested in the typical white cube approach. The 1,000 square foot gallery completely transforms itself from one exhibition to another testing the constraints of the space through wall configurations, color and material applications, and build-out choices. Information is conveyed using various modalities of interpretation, which are tested for their effectiveness. All this happens using museum quality standards for environment and object display. The laboratory's work is grounded in Bruno Latour's actor network theory, which foregrounds the agency of non-human actors such as spatial configurations, atmospheric conditions, and immersive technologies. By treating these elements as active participants in meaning making, the lab's exhibitions underscore exhibition design's capacity to shape people's experiences. This approach extends to other related emotive spatial theories. This phenomenological approach encourages student design teams to look beyond purely visual considerations and instead shape experiences through the full range of human senses. These theories underscore the exhibition designer's transformative role in shaping audience behavior and as an agent of change. This is also true for those participants who create, design, and build exhibition spaces. The underlying premise of the museum laboratory raises key questions about the future of design education and the transformative potential of exhibition and experience-based learning. Can the museum provide meaningful hands-on opportunities that teach students to design and construct compelling exhibits capable of translating this complex content for broader audiences? As a case study, let's now look at the UC Davis Design Museum's recent temporary exhibition, Village Homes: A Radical Plan, which embodied these philosophies and values. In 1975, ground broke on America's first solar community. Located in the city of Davis, California, the co-founders and first residents of Village Homes bought into a larger ideal, a radical way to live more lightly on the earth. The design of this neighborhood shares features with other intentional, sustainable communities. But what sets Village Homes apart is the integration of all these elements into a cohesive, large-scale, interdependent system. The UC Davis Design Museum's temporary exhibition, Village Homes: A Radical Plan, explored this holistic design. Through models, media, and original objects, the display has demonstrated what makes Village Homes truly distinctive and enduringly innovative, and why sustainable and community-oriented design still point the way forward. Exhibiting the design of an active neighborhood beloved by residents, many of whom visited the exhibition, presented a unique responsibility for an undergraduate student team who set themselves up to tackle the following challenges. Address the interpretation divide between the subject matter's complex narratives and the exhibit audiences. Design and engage a visitor experience on a limited budget. Display objects and over 600 historical images in only 950 square foot of space. Install a temporary exhibition in a narrow window between other shows while accommodating full-time student schedules. Certify 80 to 90% of the materials can be reused, recycled, and repurposed. And finally, ensure Village Homes residents and key stakeholders feel represented and respectfully steward their stories. To address these tasks and gain a well-rounded picture of the exhibition's subject matter, the student team conducted in-depth interviews with Village Homes residents, tested ideas, and sought feedback through a highly iterative prototyping process. Village Homes: A Radical Plan offered the ideal pedagogical platform to teach the effectiveness of the exhibition format to communicate complex design narratives, such as architecture and ecology, to a general audience. And because of the exhibition's significant build-out, a valuable opportunity for hands-on experiential learning through physical making. An undergraduate team of 4 students were assigned to develop, produce, and install the exhibition based on a pre-designed plan and in consultation with the curatorial team and museum staff. Each student was charged with leading a specific exhibition area or component based on prior expertise. None of the team were masters in these areas and adopted methodologies of learning by doing, learning from each other, and learning through the successes and failures of the design and making process. To understand the benefits of exhibition making on our minds, we must first ask, how do design practitioners think through their hands? Studying the relation between mind and body has a long history, particularly the psychology of embodied cognition, where mind, body, and its surroundings all play a part in learning, and cognition happens in real time, requiring continuous interaction with one's immediate environment. The concept to construction design process resulted in an invaluable experiential learning environment that drew heavily on embodied cognition. The final exhibition space was divided into two main halves, house and green space, and sectioned using the themes home, history, site, and community. The overall design took its cues from a DIY aesthetic made popular by the Whole Earth Catalogue and 1970s counterculture. The team used key sightlines and physical structures as wow modes to pull people through the space. A variety of exhibit media to convey the story, activate the senses, and strive for multimodality, employing film, animation, light, typography, large format images, hands-on exhibits, architectural interventions, tactile materials, sound, and archival objects. Let's now look at 4 exemplary areas of the exhibition making in Village Homes, a Radical Plan, that illustrate a high level of student engagement and a digital to hands-on production process. Initially intended as a 10-minute film, this first component evolved into a 30-minute documentary. Because of the breadth of the story and quality of the archival materials, the team were able to tell a richer story, capture oral histories from aging community members, and produce something that serves as a long-term, comprehensive film record of the Village Homes community. To illustrate the neighborhood's evolving story, the documentary blends interviews with Village Homes co-founders and residents, contemporary archival photography, specially shot media footage, and a commissioned musical score. Now imagine making yourself at home in a typical 1975 Village Homes replica house. This immersive walkthrough cross-section with original furniture and roofing and floor tiles interprets the complex architectural design and energy-saving innovations through physical, animated, and tactile experiences rather than abstract photographs, plans, and drawings. The house transitions from construction to finished interior and includes a set of 5 8-foot high pipes and an operable shutter system that demonstrate the innovative passive solar architecture that uses material palettes and finishes, and explanatory animated diagrams and text prompts that encourage people to viscerally look harder and reflect. Providing a resting place for visitors to gather, this 30 square foot interactive tabletop map provides an overview and orientation to the Village Homes site. The terrain and houses were laser cut, the trees 3D printed, and then assembled by hand. Several projected interactive animations highlight the innovative communal areas, edible landscape, and energy-efficient architecture. The student team went through several rounds of prototyping and scaling to translate 2D renderings into a physical scale model, which nicely blends both digital and physical design representation. Interpretive graphics were deployed across environmental, print, and digital applications. Earthy colors, treated images, and slab serif-style fonts, evocative of the 1970s, anchored this flexible graphic language. Information was kept concise, written to be accessible, with an active voice, like the specifications sheet style labels explaining why building materials were selected or how they were saved energy. Sketch-like animated sequences help define the home's passive solar features and illustrate the unique architectural story inherent and a place in Village Homes. So, what were the results? With such a wide variety of exhibit components, the student team honed their skills in a variety of software applications and used film cameras, sound equipment, power tools, laser cutters, CNC milling machines, and 3D printers. However, these technical tools could only do so much and were complemented by sketching, lighting, gluing, fixing, painting, nailing, scaling, sanding, sealing, cutting, and finishing by hand. When asked to reflect on experience, the student team emphasized the pedagogical value of working on a project of this scale, the importance of listening, collaboration, and sustained engagement from concept through installation, as well as the challenges of stewarding a complex narrative with community stakeholders. One team member said of creating the exhibition film, "I learned so much more about the residents, their stories, and getting tours of their houses and yards. And it was so exciting to be able to look back at it. I couldn't wait to include it in the final video." Village Homes: A Radical Plan was a valuable opportunity for the student team to participate in the whole design process. The fast-paced 10-week academic term at UC Davis means in-class projects typically progress to the design intent or prototyping stage only. Students produced and implemented a finished product and, importantly, observed visitors in the final exhibition interacting with their work. In addition to the design work, the team communicated with funders, managed timelines, and networked with stakeholders to ensure the project's success. A team member said, "The opportunity provided lessons I will carry into my career as well as my life." Press coverage, a variety of data collection, and anecdotal feedback from visitors about the exhibition was overwhelmingly positive, highlighting the clarity, comprehensive storytelling, levels of accessible content, and quality design execution. Village Homes residents engaged enthusiastically with the exhibits, pointing out familiar energy-saving technologies in the walk-through house, family and neighbors in the documentary film, and shared community spaces on the Tabletop site map. It attracted a multi-generational audience with a diverse range of interests. A measure of the exhibition's success was that people made multiple repeat visits. So what can we conclude? The UC Davis Design Museum demonstrates that university museums are uniquely positioned to employ and engage students in interdisciplinary work that takes creative risks, as well as explore understudied topics within an academic research context. Besides technical skills, benefits include building a range of soft skills from critical thinking, concrete experiences, reflective observations, what worked and what didn't, drawing conclusions from those reflections, and active experimentation by applying these new insights to another task or scenario. This paper ultimately argues for sustaining engaged, experiential learning pedagogies within design education and for preserving the hands-on, minds-on benefits of physical making. These skills should remain at the core of design education, working in tandem with digital production tools, not at their expense. This approach seems imperative if we are to foster critical thinking, effective communication, and human-centric tendencies in future designers to prepare them for a design profession facing one of its most impactful inflection points.